All right, welcome back, the genius. So let us build our simple ATM line by line. And as I build it, I'll be explaining every line of code that I'm writing. So I am using IDLE. You can use Visual Studio Code. You can use PyDroid to code along. Okay. So I'm going to create a new file, and then I'll create a new file. So I will start by having a comment that says simple ATM simulation. So we are just simulating. All right. Now, we want to print a welcome message for our users. So we are doing something like this. We say welcome to Python ATM, Python Bank ATM. Okay. So this is something that you already know. This is just the print statement. So we are using it to print. It's like a welcome message to the user. So I don't think I have much to explain here. So the next line of code would be, we will be using more of comments here. So the next line of code will be, that would be step one. Step one, sorry. Step one, the step one is to initialize. First thing we are going to do is that we are going to initialize the user's account details. So we are going to initialize their PIN and also the balance. But most of these things are things that are supposed to come initialize um, user account details. So what are we doing here? We are hard coding the user PIN. Okay, we are hard coding it, but normally we get these things from database. All right. The normal ATM would, when you enter your PIN, they will cross-check it with your PIN in their database. But here we are just hard coding it. We are assuming this is what the PIN is. So we are also assuming that the user has a balance of 10,000 naira. Okay. We are assuming the user has so this is the initial balance. So you already know what a comment is. Anything that you see that is in red, the Python interpreter does not interpret it. All right, it's not part of the code. This is for us humans. So the next step will be that in step two, what do we need to do? We need to get the user login. So now we need to ask the user for their login. Okay, we need to ask them for their login. So their PIN. So we need to ask them for their PIN. We need to ask them for their PIN, and then we will use the input function, and then we'll save whatever we get. We'll say enter your 4 digits. Enter your 4 digits PIN. Okay, so now this would actually prompt the user to give us their PIN. So when they give us their PIN, we will store the PIN in this PIN variable. All right. Now, when the user enters their PIN, we need to cross-check it with the user PIN that we already have here. Do you understand? We already have, let's assume that this is coming from the database, but here we have it hard-coded here. So we need to cross-check. If we're using the if statement, so if the PIN that the user gave us is equal to the user PIN that we already have. If it is correct, All right. What are we going to do? We are going to print, we'll print login successful. We'll print login successful, and then we'll print a new line. This new line, we'll print a new line. So this new line will make whatever thing we are going to print on the screen to come in a new line. Do you understand? It will make whatever we want to print um, in the next thing that we are going to print to come in a new line. So now, if it is if the login is if the pin is equal to the user pin that we have, we are going to do what? We are going to print login successful. But else, all right, else. What do we want to do? We want to print incorrect pin. We want to print, we'll print error message for the user to see. So we'll say incorrect pin. All right? Access denied. Access denied. And then our program ends. But in the next video, in the next class, we are going to show you how we are going to add more features. And one of the features that we are going to be adding is we'll give the user opportunity to try at least 3 times before we close the program. But for now, once the user fails, once the pin they give us doesn't match the user pin that we already have here, we would end the program. Okay. Now, so let me save and let us check this our code. I will save it and I will go to my desktop. I will go to game and web development. I will go to Python. I will go to week 3 and I will save it as ATM. Now let me run this code. I'll click on run. So it says, welcome to Python Bank ATM. Enter your PIN. If I enter 2345, which is a wrong PIN, what happens? It says incorrect PIN, access denied. Okay. Now I will close it and then I think I will just put a colon there. Look at what I just did. I added a colon after the PIN. Okay. I will save again and then I'll press F5 and run the code. It says enter your PIN. If I enter 1234, which is the correct PIN, and hit enter, it says login successful. All right, it says login successful. So our program is currently working. So if your program so far is not working, please check your code. Check your code. Okay, so let's continue. So when the user successfully log in, what are we going to do? The step 3 is that we would want to print the menu for the user to see. So step 3, okay, we'll create menu using a while loop. All right, so the thing is this, as long as the user does not hit enter, like exit, we want to print this thing. So we'll say while true. Now remember that the while loop always checks this expression that follows it. So it could be it could be a Boolean expression or it could be a Boolean value. The whole thing is that we need to make sure that this thing evaluates to either true or false. So right now we are hard coding it to true. So that means this would run infinite. It will be like it was going to be like an infinite loop, but at a point when the user selects exit, it will break out of the loop. Okay, so now first thing I will say print. Okay, and then I will have a new line. Okay, then I will have something like this, and I will say ATM menu. All right, then I will have something like this. Okay, so that's the first thing I print. So the second one will be another print statement. Okay, it would be so it will be type sorry, it will be type 1. Type 1 for deposit. Type 1 for check balance. Type 1 for check balance. Okay. The next thing will be, let me just, the next thing will be print. Okay. And then we'll say type 2 for deposit. For deposits, type 2 for deposit money. The next one will be print. We'll say type 3 for withdrawal. For withdrawal. For withdraw money. And then we'll say print. Then, sorry. We'll say type 4 for exit. Okay. Now, when we have done this, okay, we will now have to check, we will now have to expect the user to type in something. So we are still going to use the input function again. So this will now be this will be step what? Step 4. And in step 4, we are getting the user choice, get user choice. So what do they want to do? That is the choice we are looking at here. So we will save it, choice variable, and the input we'll use the input to collect the user's choice. So we'll say enter your choice. We'll say enter your choice. You say enter your choice, and we'll have something like this: 1 to 4. All right. So now, once the user enters their choice, we printed the menu for them. Then they will enter their choice. Once they enter their choice, we now want to check. We want to check what their choice is. So that will be step 5. Okay, step 5. We want to check, we want to perform action based, want to perform operation based on their choice. So we are going to use if statement here now. We'll say if if choice is equal to 1. All right? If choice is equal to 1, that means the user have selected what? What operation? Okay, the user has, when they type 1, that means they want to check their balance. So let us print their balance for them. That is just the much we can do here. Okay. So we'll use the F string. So we'll say your balance is, then you can use the Naira stuff. You can say the balance is. Now I'm going to put the balance inside this curly brace. Okay. So now if they select 1 as the choice, if the choice they gave us is equal to 1, then we are printing their balance. We'll say your balance is so amount. Then else if, okay, if the choice is equal to 2, if the choice is equal to 2, all right, what do we want to do? We will not ask them how much, of course, if the choice is 2, that means they want to deposit. So we'll also, we would get the input from them. But the thing is that we are going to save it in the amount. And then, but remember that function returns, input function returns, what's it called again? String data type. Okay, so we'll have to concatenate, we'll have to typecast it to an integer. So say enter amount to deposit. Enter amount to deposit. And your amount should be in naira. Okay, but the thing is that we are going to, so this thing is a string data type. This amount now is a string data type. So for us to actually do any arithmetic operation on it, you cannot use a string data type on multiplication or division or subtraction. So we have to convert this amount to an integer. So we are going to typecast it. So I will typecast it here. This is what I've just done. I've converted this amount to integer and I'm saving it back to the amount. Okay. There are a couple of ways you can actually do this. So now we are now going to say balance plus equal to amount. So whatever the balance is, we are actually adding it to the balance. Okay. And after then, what do we want to do? We need to print and tell them what their balance is. We need to tell them what their balance is. So I think I will pause here and then we'll run the code and let's see. Let's make sure that our code is working so far. So we'll say naira, then I will put amount. So I'm going to say so amount deposited successfully. Then we now need to tell them their we say new balance is, then we now in naira, then we now put the balance here. Okay. So far, what have we done? We are putting the menu in this while loop. We are getting the choice, what they want, what operation do they want to perform. We are checking it if the choice is equal to 1. If it is, we'll print the balance for them. If it is, if else, if it is 2, we'll ask them what enter the amount they want to deposit. Okay, then once they enter it, we'll store it in the amount variable. And then this amount variable is actually a string data type. But we are not going to, because this thing we did here, all right, this thing we did here is an arithmetic operation. Okay, so we cannot use string to do all those things. So we need to convert this amount to integer. So we have converted it back. We have converted it to an integer, and then we are storing it back in this amount variable. After that, we are now adding the amount to the balance, and then we are printing. So let me save and let us test the code now. So, oh, there is an error. There is an error. Oh, sorry. This is not capital W. It is small letter W. Sorry about that. Okay, small letter is not capital letter, please. Python is case sensitive. So I have changed it now. So I will hit F5. It say, welcome to Python Bank. Enter your digit. I'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. It says login successful. What is your choice? I will say my choice is 1. It say your balance is 1,000. Okay, let me try 2. It says enter amount to deposit. I will say 20,000 and I will hit enter. It says 20,000 deposited successfully. New balance is 21,000. Okay, so far it is working. So, but I'm going to, now it is working so far. All right. So make sure that your code so far is working. If it's not working, please check your code. Now we have, let us check for if the user says go for 3. Oops, sorry. So else if the user chose, if the choice, oh, sorry. My bad. So elif choice is equal to 3, then um, that means they want to do what they want to withdraw. So we need to also ask them what do they want to withdraw, how much do they want to withdraw. So we'll save it in amount, okay? And then we are going to ask them how much they want to withdraw. But this time around, I'm going to do the typecasting right away. I'm going to say int. So whatever the input function returns, all right, I'm going to typecast it to an integer. Okay, so here I will say um, enter amount to withdraw. Okay, now we have to check. So let us, because if the user gave us an amount they want to withdraw and it is bigger than what their balance, that means there should be an error. So we let us check if amount is less than or equal to. So if it is less than or equal to the balance, that means yes, they can withdraw it. Okay. If it's less than or equal to balance, so they can withdraw it. So, and after that, we are going to say balance. We are going to subtract what the amount they want to withdraw from the balance. All right. Then after that, we'll now print okay, so I'll use f string here too. So we will now print naira, then curly braces, the amount they are withdrawing. We'll say amount withdrawn successfully. Amount withdrawn successfully. New balance is new balance is, then we'll do naira again, then curly braces, and then this will now be balance. Okay. All right. Okay. Now, but what if the amount they want to withdraw is not is greater than, that means is greater than what they have. So what do? We need to tell the user now that no, they can't do that. Okay, so else we will need to print insufficient balance. Print insufficient balance. So let's go and try this piece of code that we have written. Insufficient balance. Okay. So let's go and try the piece of code that we have written so far. So I've saved it. I'll run F5. Enter your pin 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. What do you want to do? This time around, let me do 3. I want to withdraw. Okay. It says enter amount to withdraw. And then, of course, I'm going to correct this. I'm supposed to give some space. That place, the thing is blinking. I'm supposed to give some space. But let me say I want to withdraw 2,000 naira. But my balance is only 1,000 naira. If I go for it, it says insufficient balance. Do you understand? Now, insufficient balance. Okay, let me check what my balance is. Oh, my balance is 1,000 naira. That means I cannot withdraw more than 1,000 naira. So I can say, okay, let me withdraw 3. Let me go for withdrawal again. Then, how much do you want to withdraw? I want to withdraw 500 naira. And it says 500 naira withdrawn successfully. Your new balance is 500. If I try to go for 3 again and try to go for 600, it will say insufficient balance. So this is really working. Okay, so I'm going to close. Okay, so let's continue. But before I continue, I'm going to give some space here. Enter amount to withdraw. I'm going to do this so that there will be space after that. So now, let's go back to the else if. Okay, so now the last thing we are doing here is if the user's choice is 4, okay, if the user's choice is 4, so if choice is equal to 4, and do you know the reason why we are checking this choice against a string 4? Because the input here, this choice is a string variable, because the choice that the user gave us is a string data type. Okay. So else if it is 4, what are we going to do? We are now going to print thank you. So they want to quit. We say for thank you for using Python Bank ATM. Goodbye. Okay. So now, but after that, since once they say they want to quit, that means we have to break out of the loop. We have to break out of the loop since they say they are quitting. So this our while loop will stop running. Okay, because why this is true, this is an infinite loop. We keep on giving them the menu. We keep on giving them the menu until they say they want to quit. When they say their choice is 4, and we say thank you for using Python Bank ATM, and immediately we'll break out of the loop. Now, in case that the user did not give us any meaningful choice, we'll print invalid. We'll print um, we'll print invalid choice. You print invalid option. Okay. Please select from 1 to 4. Okay. All right. So now this is our code. All right. This is our code. So let's go and test it. I will save it. I will run 5. Okay. Now enter your PIN. Let me give wrong PIN. It says access, incorrect PIN access denied. Like I told you in the next video, we'll add more features. So, but now, once they give us incorrect PIN, we end the program. Again, let us try again. This time around, I will enter the correct PIN. I'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. I will hit enter. It say login successful. Type 1 for check balance, type 2. So let us give incorrect choice, invalid option. Let me go for 5. It will say invalid option. Please select from 1 to 4. Now I will go for exit, which is 4. I will hit enter. I say thank you for using Python Bank ATM. Goodbye. So the program ends. Okay. Now you can see that everything is working. I will try it again. We have checked everything here. So let me take time and explain my code again. The first thing we have here is it's a comment. It's just for human readability. It's not for Python interpreter. Then we are printing a message telling our user welcome to Python Bank ATM. Now we are using this comment to show our other programmers or even our future self the first step we take here. The first step is to initialize users' account details. Like I said, most of these things normally they come from the database, but we are just hard coding it here. So the PIN here is 1234 and the balance is 1,000 naira. So now step 2, we are going to ask the user for their 4-digit PIN. Once they give it to us, we store it in this PIN variable. Now, the next thing we do is to check if the PIN they gave us, if it is equal to the user PIN that we had coded here. If it is correct, we'll print login successful. If it is not, if you go down here, you see the else part of it. We say incorrect PIN access denied. Now, if it is correct, we'll print login successful. Then we will now enter into a while loop, an infinite while loop, because we want to keep on showing them the ATM menu. All right, we are printing this thing. Then we are asking them for their choice. We check if the choice is equal to 1. If the choice is equal to 1, that means they want us to show them their balance. We'll show them their balance. If it is 2, we'll ask them how much they want to deposit. Then we'll store it in this amount. But the thing is that the input function returns a string data type. So you cannot use the string data type to do concatenation like, yes, you can do concatenation like the addition, but it will give you result that you didn't desire. Okay, so we convert it to an integer using the integer function. We convert it to an integer. So that means this amount now is now an integer. Then we now add this amount to the balance that we already have. Whatever the amount they give us, we'll add it to the balance. Then we'll print the new, we'll say amount deposited successfully, then you tell them the new balance. Okay, then if it is 3, we'll get their what they want to, how much they want to withdraw. Then we'll check if the amount is less than or equal to, okay? If the amount is less than, the amount they want to withdraw is less than their balance or equal to their balance, we will minus the amount from their balance and print this message, okay? Let me reduce, let me, what am I doing here? Okay, configure. So I would make the font size to be something like 18 so that you can see. Oh, it doesn't even work. Okay, so I'll close this and then let me just expand the whole thing. Okay, this is better. Okay, so we minus the amount from their balance, we print what they have now. But if it is not less than, that means the what they want to withdraw is greater than their balance. We'll print insufficient balance. Okay, then if the choice is for, that means they want to quit. We'll print thank you for using Python back ATM, and we break out of the while loop, and the program will end. So if any of these choices is not correct, we will print invalid option, okay? So thank you very much. In the next video, we are going to add more features. We'll give users more 3 items. We would give them more options. So in the next video, we'll do more. So subscribe to this YouTube channel, okay? Because there are daily classes on Python, there are weekend classes on Python free of charge, okay? But if you have money, you want to buy our paid courses, this is the kind of things we teach. In our paid courses, we take time to explain all these things and we teach it very well. This is the kind of things our students learn in our paid courses, because in the free courses, we don't really have too much time to explain everything. But in our paid courses, we will give you mentorship, we'll coach you personally. If you're writing your code and you have any question, you have any issue, we would help you out. But for the free course, we don't have time for people who did not pay for the course. But for people who paid for the course, we actually give them attention, personal coaching, personal mentoring, okay? Thank you very much. Subscribe to the channel for the free daily classes and the weekend classes. I will see you in the next video.